Welcome to Great Talk and Entertainment. I'm your host, KJ, and this is the podcast where we review movies and TV shows from all your favorite superheroes, including Marvel Comics and DC Comics and much more. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel, Great Talk and Entertainment official channel, baby. Let's go! As we continue on the new Disney Plus series by Marvel Studios, She-Hulk Attorney at Law, Episode 6 review. This is a spoiler, so if you have not seen the show, go ahead, pause this review, give me a thumbs up, go check it out, and then come back, and then tell me what you think about the whole series and how my reviews are in the comments below. Please and thank you. So, you've been warned. Here we go. In episode 6, it starts off with She-Hulk being invited to her friend's wedding, aka Lou, and explaining, even though she does not really hang out with Lulu, but she wants to show off her new dress that's made by Luke Jacob, and she wants to be in She-Hulk form, and she even breaks the fourth wall, explaining what type of episode it's going to be, and it's very rom-com with, many wedding vibes that you'd get in any type of classic movie that talks about weddings, like Wedding Crashers, Bridesmaids, and etc. And definitely there's a lot of funny moments. It definitely took a different route in this episode. It even shows a new logo of saying, instead of saying She-Hulk, it says it's just Jen. And it just shows the battle between She-Hulk and Jennifer Waltzer. Just being one person, kind of like Moon Knight in a way, but not as dark and crazy as Moon Knight, where he has 6 or 5 or 100 different personalities. Nothing like that, but it just shows the battle between Jennifer Waltz just being herself or the She-Hulk persona. And like I said, it took a different route with that, but it was funny. It was great entertaining. This is one of my favorite episodes right here, just because the actor who plays, and I forgot her name, so I apologize, but the character She-Hulk, the actor who plays She-Hulk, did an amazing performance, just being funny. Obviously, this show, the writers are comedians, and they, have written funny shows. I can't remember what all the funny shows they've done, but they definitely have a lot of comedy side to it, and it's definitely put out a great performance by all the cast that you've seen in this episode. So even though that this episode wasn't very Marvel-like, it wasn't very Avengers, it's still hard to explain what She-Hulk is about. There's a lot of unanswered questions, but again, I see why they're doing this, and they're trying to be different with She-Hulk compared to the other shows, but I'm okay with it. I definitely get that WandaVision vibe where you didn't know where this was going. You don't know how it's going to end, and you can't really you can't put a lot of theories to this because it's very difficult at the moment because there's a lot of unanswered questions, and there's still a lot of things they never really talked about that has happened in the past episodes that still not answered. And we're on episode 6, and we're getting closer and closer to the end of this season. So, let's talk about it. Mr. Immortal, a.k.a. Mr. Hollis, a.k.a. Craig Hall. Now, in episode 6, you see Mr. Immortal going to the hiring 2 lawyers, hiring one of the lawyers, and obviously, he's trying to divorce all these women, and he's also trying to keep everything he has because all these women want to hurt him, murder him. And what's crazy is Mr. Immortal has faked his death. Now, Mr. Immortal's comic book origin story is very sad and dark. So, in the comic books, when he was a child, he had a really bad childhood. Both his parents has passed away, and in the comics he gets this ability from I forgot the character's name, and I apologize for that. he is a like the Grim Reaper of the Marvel comics, aka Marvel Cinematic Universe, right? And he gives Mr. Holliston the ability to never die. So he can, in the comic books, he's tried to commit suicide. He has tried everything, but he just does not die. And like I said, and this is the comic book story. It's just more darker. Uh, but obviously in the MCU and the She-Hulk, he's more of an older guy. He is somebody who is conning women because he's been, and we don't know how long he's been alive on Earth in the MCU, but he's definitely got a lot of wives, different names, and in this series you see how they sort it out and make a deal. And apparently he had a lot of stock shares back when Apple first started, and that's how he got all this lot of his money. And a lot of the women took half of it, but it just shows this one they changed him a little bit. Obviously, like you say, he's older. He's more of a con artist. That's what he's using as a power. And the way they're doing this, they're kind of treating him as a mutant, like the X-Men type. So definitely they're changing it. But I'm telling you guys, I have the one of his comic books, Mr. Immortal. Uh, and it's a very good read. Also, he was in a group. He was in the Thunderbolts groups, and I think there was another group called the Lightning Bolt, which I think what it was they found out like Thunderbolt Ross was evil, and then they're like, oh, we don't want to be in that group, so they made a group. Which is a Mr. Immortal is a unheard character to the mainstream audience, but he's a character which they use that character a lot in a lot of Marvel comics. So he's very well around. But again, the Lightning Bolt group is kind of like the Suicide Squad and a little bit of, not a lot, but a little bit of the Guardian Galaxy mixed together. If you want to look at it, they're like the broken toys that nobody wants to play with, and they all team up type thing. And let's see, I do believe you see him in a lot of Deadpool comics and the Fantastic Four. So there's your connection for that. um, but what I think about this one, I think it's cool that they're bringing these like unknown characters in the Marvel Cinematic Universe using the Disney Plus series to kind of give them a boost. And I think that I don't think they're going to use him very much, but I think you'll see him pop up here and there in other Marvel movies when you least unexpected. But I think he's going to be a big important character to this film. So I think he has a lot of potential, and I think this route they're going with him can be really good. So I don't really got a lot about that. I just think it's very interesting that they're kind of changing his origin story. But then again, they could go dark with it. But like I said, all they didn't give us a lot, but they did change him more into a con artist. That's the only hint of signs that the Marvel Studios is changing his origin story about that. Let's talk about Titania. I got three things I got to bring up. So, why is she upset? I see the thing again. They never really explain why she's upset. Um, why she was trying to trademark the name She-Hulk. Why she break the wall down like the Kool-Aid Man in the courthouse? And I think that's the one thing they never really explain. Like, what's her motive, and like they have yet explained where her power came from, as in like if you're just an art somebody who's just watching this show and you're not reading the Marvel comic books and you don't really know her, how do you really understand her powers? You would think this would be the series where they explain it, but they don't. She gets in a huge fight with She-Hulk while She-Hulk's drunk, and I thought that was really funny. And it was really funny that Titanium slipped on ice and broke her teeth. And man, I really hope she has some money for a dentist for that. But it was an odd fight, I think, and nothing really came of it. But here's what I think. I think that obviously they're changing up this character's origin story too, but I have a feeling that they're gonna turn this character into a anti-hero, and I think they're going to be friends, like partners, buddies, friends, and I think you'll see a team up with She-Hulk and Titanium, which is great. I mean, I'm down for that cause. So, uh, again, like they changing her origin story too, and just because this character was not really well popular in the, like I said, in the mainstream, so that's okay. And I think this is gonna be like She-Hulk is Sonic and Titanium's Knuckles. Like, they have their own views of how they want to change the world. They have their own ways and views of how they would stop a villain or save the world type thing. And She-Hulk might be, oh, we don't kill him, but Titanium might, yeah, let's kill him type thing, kind of like Sonic and Knuckles, like I was saying. So, and here and there, you're gonna just always see these two go at each other. Like, this ain't the first that you. This probably won't be the last time we see She-Hulk and Titanium having a fight like that in a wedding. So, one moment I just want to bring up. I really enjoy She-Hulk's drunk dancing when she was not drunk. Well, she was drunk, but I enjoyed she was just dancing by herself, just having a hell of a time. I think that was just funny. Now let's talk about Intelligentsia. It's a group that it's run by different people. There's been different leaders. It's not a very popular group of characters, but it's really cool that I thought they brought them back for the MCU. There is a 70s version comic book run, which it wasn't really popular. It's not like fan favorite in the comic book world. And then they obviously did a reboot and changed it all in the 90s, which the comic run for them in the 90s was much better than the 70s version of it. But obviously, different time, different era. But I think this is really cool. Now, this is really cool and interesting just because of the fact that we know that the leader from the Incredible Hulk series is going to be in the Captain America 4 movie, New World Order. And we know that in this show, we see at the end that, She-Hulk's being spied on, and people want She-Hulk's blood. They want Bruce Banner's blood too, let's be honest. And we know there's some fishy guys out there who are just using She-Hulk, not for her love, but for her blood. It's just it's very interesting. So we know, and that's like a Reddit. What's really cool, they kind of made it like a up to date version of it in real time. Like, there's a website, like a Reddit page, YouTube page. Just people who just want a dark web type, where people just want to say hateful things about her, make death threats. They want to hashtag cancel culture her. So they really, really, really changed this group from how it was in the 70s and then their comic book run in the 90s as well. And now they're changed it up again. Uh, so now they're kind of like a blogger, underground thing, maybe like a mid-level terrorist type thing, which is like wow. But so here's some clues. So we know there's a name called Hulk King, and then oh god, there's the leader. Then we have Josh, and then I'm gonna add Todd. Now I think Todd could be Hulk King. That's the username. And I think Josh is the guy they sent out. I don't think Josh has any actual love interest in She Hulk because in the last episode, we learned that the guys she went on these dates with only wanted to date her because she's She Hulk. And Todd was one of them, and we see and the actor who plays Todd, which I forgot his name, I apologize. He's been appearing here and there, so I know he's a big important character. So I think he's Hulk King. That's his username when he's talking to like his followers. Like they're kind of like the page that like a Reddit page that people follow and they like devote their lives to it type thing, and they're all blogging together type thing on the internet trying to hate on She-Hulk. And I think Josh is like the cult member. It's like a cult type thing, but I think he's like the cult member of them, not the leader. But I think Josh is going to be the one that breaks She-Hulk's heart, and I think this will finally get to see She-Hulk rage like the Incredible Hulk, because it's going to hurt her feelings, obviously. Do I think like the leader will show up? I don't think so. I think just because at D23 he says he's gonna they're bringing that character back, and I think they're gonna save that character for the movie. So I think you would have to wait for the teaser trailer, the full trailer, and then obviously the movie. But I don't think that they're gonna show him. I don't think they will put him in the actual She-Hulk show. I'm not even in a post credit. I just think you just have to wait till it's time for the Captain America New World Order teaser trailer, or even the full length trailer. In at that, even now, like I don't think that they're just gonna put him in there. I think what you're getting out of She-Hulk is what you're gonna get. I mean, they're already hyping the Daredevil cameo, and I think that's going to be it. I don't think they will. I'd be shocked, and you know what? I'd be happy about that if they did, but I don't think they're going to have. Now, the other thing I see is they had needles, and I think these are more better version of the needles, like they're upgrading. So I think like if you remember when the Wrecking Crew tried to stab She-Hulk and they failed, I think they were working for this group, and which is short the Intel. That's how you say that. That's the short version name of that group is Intel. Intel, I think they will. I think they may have got some like equipment from Wakanda or stole in the black market and got these better needles, because I think, like I said, I think they're gonna give these to like Josh, Todd, and I think that in the Wrecking Crew, I think they're all gonna come back at some point and get her blood, and I think Josh is gonna be the one, because there's only a few. I think there's only 3. So if you think about it, you can give one to Josh, you give one to Todd, and you give one of the guys from the Wrecking Crew, and I think what's gonna happen is, I think like this wedding thing was a sham. I think the wedding was a sham because somebody was spying on She-Hulk while Josh was talking to her while they're eating fries. And I think Lulu could be evil. You know what? I think Lulu. I think they. I think Marvel took a. I think Lulu is gonna be the blonde Phantom. Just like I think like they took an old character in the She-Hulk comic books that nobody really remembers or recognizes, and they just changed it. So they're taking a character that was made up for the show, and they're giving the origin story of the blonde Phantom to her. So I think Lulu is retired, and I think she's been alive a lot longer than we think. Because if you think about it, that makes sense. If you think about it, in the comic book, in the She-Hulk comic books, Blonde Phantom was somebody who has a super soldier serum as well, and when you have that, you don't age quick. You know, Captain America has always looked like that for such a long time. Steve Rogers, who I'm referring to, and so Lulu has that, and we never see the groom, so we don't know where Adam is. Adam, but uh, I just think it's weird that they had this wedding and it seemed kind of suspicious. So to me, I think this is the point where we're gonna get the whole gang up on She-Hulk type moment. And now the Intel group, usually in the comic books, it's usually like Doctor Doom, who's kind of like the one who runs it. Sometimes it's Modoc, but because in the comic book, Modoc controls the Red Hulk, but I don't think they're going to do the Red Hulk during the passing of the actor who played Thunderbolt Ross, and I forgot his name. I apologize for that, but um, I don't think they can do that. But Todd, I think Todd would be the Red Hulk. I think that's what they're going to do. I just think they're going to introduce another Hulk, and I think this is what it could be. But I don't think it'll be Red Hulk just because they have the Thunderbolts movie coming out in the next phase of Marvel, which would be Phase 6. Or, yeah, Phase 6. Um, I also think that uh, Lulu could be the leader of this intel. Like, that would make sense. I mean, this show is very independent women leaders. You know, the main who Titania, she's to me the main villain, and she's the main antagonist. And I think Lulu could be that. I think this is going to be a show where all the women are in the lead of each one, right? So, which is awesome. I'm because I believe the next episode is obviously they're going back to like things that are gonna show how this show is definitely connected to the MCU, and definitely I think the next episode, and I could be wrong because I'm usually wrong with predicting how each episode is gonna be, but I can see maybe this time in episode 7 we'll see that this could be teasing like the next Captain America movie, maybe in the next Daredevil series. Obviously, we're still waiting for that to see Daredevil actually appear on an episode of She-Hulk. And I think that, and I think, like I said, I think we're going to get another Hulk, unless Bruce Banner's coming back, but I highly doubt that. I think when they put him on that spaceship back to and leave planet Earth, I think that's just him saying, okay, that's the last time you're seeing Bruce Banner Hulk appear for the moment. So I think we'll get another Hulk. I think maybe, I mean, there's so many other Hulk characters, but I think maybe She-Hulk's other cousin, will get it. But also, I think Todd could be it. So it could be a Red Hulk. I mean, who knows? I don't know. I know I keep saying, well, I don't think they'll do a Red Hulk, but I think they'll tease the idea of him being a Red Hulk too. That's a possibility, but again, I think I think the next episode is going to be more of people attacking She-Hulk and trying to get her DNA. And all I gotta say is just, I think that's the only way I could think of. But I think, to me, they're hoping they'll get that season 2 of She-Hulk. I think the producers, the writers, the directors, all that. So that's why I think they're kind of leaving. I think they're preparing to leave a cliffhanger on the final episodes. On the final episode, I should say. But I think that's what's going to be. So, yeah, like I said, I just think this one's really going to unveil a lot. Because this doesn't, it only makes sense to me. Is like, this next episode should unveil some things. And I know they're going to hold back on some and pay it off later in other Marvel movies and shows. So that's pretty typical of Marvel. So I definitely have to give this episode 1 out of 10. I'm definitely giving it an 8. It was such a funny episode, great, and it's definitely introducing characters that I didn't think they would ever put in the MCU, but I see why. And Disney Plus is such a great platform to have those opportunities, and I definitely want to see more Mr. Immortal. I want to see him and She-Hulk meet. I think that would be cool. And I think that you can build some new teams up with this stuff. So I definitely like this series so far, and I like where it's going. I there's a lot of stuff that I'm confused, but I'm definitely still giving it an 8. Just because it's still good. It still has a lot of stuff to offer for Marvel fans. And there's still a lot of things to be excited about in this show. So definitely loving this. So that's my review. Thank you so much for listening. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel, Great Talking Entertainment official channel. Subscribe, hit that notification button so you can always be up to date with all my latest content. And please share with your friends and family to help this channel grow. Thank you.